Hi guys, good morning to everyone. I am Dr. T. Radhashri, Assistant Professor in Commerce in Dr. SNS College of Arts and Science. Today we are going to see about the functional accounting for first year BCom students. In the fifth unit, we are going to see about the single entry system types. Let me see about what all the types have been included in the single entry systems. Single entry system is nothing about they have the three systems and that three types also to be calculated in the purely of the single entry system and single entry system, quasi single entry system. It is a pure single entry system only for personal account maintenance when be used in the single entry systems. In the simple single entry system means personal account and cash books also maintained in the simple single entry system, and quasi single entry system it is calculated as the personal account, cash books and the subsidiary books are to be maintained in the three single entry systems. In the single entry system means when we know about the double entry system, there is a two side of the double entry system and debit and credit side. In a single entry system, there is only one in a single entry system. It should be calculated as a capital, opening capital, closing capital, drawings and addition capital have been introduced in the single entry systems. In the way of the types, the single entry system is a personal account or to be maintained for the purpose of the money. It is known as an incomplete record. We can't able to identify the future what is going to be added in the single entry system. So it is always known as a incompleted record should be maintained in the way. In the single entry system, the fraud can be easily identified and the fraud can be made or errors can be easily identified in the single entry system. Why it is saying means it is can't able to identify the errors. It is a not proper record have been maintained in the single entry system. For the purpose of the single entry system and cash books or the subsidiary books are to be maintained. Subsidiary books is nothing about purchase or sales or purchase return, sales return have been identified in the single entry system. The purpose of the goods can be take place of the personal accounts and the cash books are to be maintained for the purpose of goods and service have been take place. That way only of the single entry system have been calculated for the it is an incomplete record should be maintained. That way the single entry means there is only a single side of the closing balance and opening balance and the drawings and additional capital have been introduced in this way. That way only the single entry system is be calculated for the money purpose. It can't able to used in the large business or the big size of the business. The single entry system it be used for the small business only. That means no cash to be introduced in the lot of amount to be put into the business for doing a large size. When the amount of, for example, we can say 15,000 we can be put into the business. It is known as a small scale business. At the same times, we can be say 10 lakhs of the amount to be put in the business. It is known as a big scale of the business. So big scale of the business we can be not able to find out of the year 50,000 in the business. That way only 10 lakh we can be put into the business. So automatically we have be put in a double entry system and debit and credit. The debit and credit only we can able to find out the profit and loss of the business. But in a single entry system we can't able to find out the profit and loss of the business. It can be find out only the what is the account is going in a proper way in the small entry that can be calculated to find out the single entries. This is the way of the single entry system. It is a failure. We can't able to say failure. It is sometimes the incomplete record. We can't able to identify the proper errors easily. We can be maintain the errors and the rectification of the frauds can be identified. This is the way of the single entry system is a purely single entry and simply single entry and quasi single entry system. It should be maintained in a proper record. In the single entry system, we can able to identify the way what is the steps is going to the next. We can't able to identify the future plan of this the single entry system. It's the process of maintaining a good frame of the policies which can be purely simplified of the simple entry system. At the same time, we can be able to identify the proper way of the goods. It can be taken place by the single entry system. These are the types we can be taken in the single entry system. This is the process we can be able to identify. Thank you for listening this section. It is a useful way of the single entity system what we have the uses of the process to be maintained. Thank you.